Hi everyone, here's what's bothering me today. The audacity of the Catholic Church knows no bounds anymore. So, we've talked at length about the Catholic Church in Canada at this point, especially with its relations with regards to Indigenous people and the residential school system. I think I've done at least 3 videos on this now, pointing out crime after crime the Catholic Church committed and crime after crime in their attempted penance for their crimes against humanity committed against Indigenous people. And then today, adding to this unfortunate list, a Catholic Church charity set up to pay residential school survivors spent $6.46 million on expenses. A Catholic Church organization formed to compensate the survivors of the residential school program of which the Catholic Church ran the majority of schools. That organization spent more than a quarter of its funds on expenses. That is terribly inefficient for a charity. From the article, the documents detail the finances of the Corporation of Catholic Entities Party to the Indian Residential School Settlement, a special charity created to pay the church's part of the residential school settlement, a complex legal arrangement involving the federal government, religious institutions, and survivors that was reached in 2006. The audited financial statements, which cover the fiscal years ended 2009 to 2016, were acquired after a request to the Canada Revenue Agency. They were reviewed by the Globe and Charity Intelligence Canada, a charity that provides financial analysis and transparency reporting on Canada's charitable sector. Those records show the Catholic entities that were party to the settlement ultimately contributed $24.2 million. From that amount, the corporation deducted $6.46 million for expenses over 8 years. Healing initiatives for residential school survivors got $18.6 million. And again, some of those funds were returned back to Catholic Church institutions rather than to residential school survivors. As someone put it, this whole thing is preposterous. And all this, again, after the Catholic Church has continued to refuse to meet its alleged target, their promised target for what they are going to try and give residential school survivors. And I mentioned this in several videos before, where they managed to have no problem raising more than that for a shiny new church in Saskatoon, and Quebec nuns had no problem just selling enough real estate to cover the expenditure. A little tiny order of nuns in Montreal managed to get enough money from a real estate sale that they could have given to Indigenous people. But nope, the Catholic Church is such a terrible organization. They made a promise to help people they have negatively impacted, and in turn that has impacted subsequent generations. The Catholic Church is responsible for so much intergenerational trauma among First Nations in Canada. And they promised that they would do the right thing and collect enough funds to give to Indigenous people as a form of penance and apology and trying to make right a historic and very grave genocidal wrong. And yet, time after time, they have shown themselves to be unwilling or incapable of doing so. Either one is equally terrible. Especially when, again, you consider that they have had no problems fundraising for shiny new churches, making bank on real estate sales. The Catholic Church has even hid money by shuffling around or selling off assets so that they can pretend that they're not as rich as they actually are. So in that sense, if they're incapable, that's really bad. And if they're unwilling and just aren't willing to, say that, oh geez, that's a lot of money. We kind of need that for other things like our own lawsuits, or, we just need more money. Like, money is good, right? That's why we have these giant golden churches. It is obscene. The amount of wealth that the Catholic Church has and their reticence to do the right thing is obscene and shameful, and it should be embarrassing. But apparently to the Catholic institution itself, it's not. And that's what's bothering me today.